Traveling on the road doesn't usually take much thought. You just hop in your car, throw on some tunes, and you're off to your destination. Building roads, on the other hand, is an incredibly complex process requiring a tremendous amount of planning, engineering, and construction expertise to pull off. And sometimes things just don't work out exactly how they were planned. Highway projects can be derailed for any number of reasons, from financial to environmental and community backlash to technological. So without any further ado, here are 8 of the most well-known and often mocked highways to nowhere in the United States. Starting off at number 8, we have arguably one of the most politically infamous highway to nowhere projects, the Gravina Island Bridge and Highway in Alaska. It was first approved in 2005. It got little attention initially. It was buried in an omnibus spending bill that was passed by the Senate with a vote of 93-1. The project would consist of a highway and bridge that would connect Ketchikan to Gravina Island, which was the location of the town's airport. This wasn't just going to be any rural highway bridge, however. This was going to be almost $500 million, and it was going to rival the Golden Gate Bridge in length and the Brooklyn Bridge in height. As these and other details began to go public, many started to perceive the project as wasteful pork barrel government spending. Recognizing the public outcry, many politicians began to try to distance themselves from the project, including those who had initially voted to pass the omnibus spending bill. Others, including Alaskan politician Sarah Palin, refused to back down. Ridiculous political theater ensued, and eventually the bridge was canceled. The most absurd part about this debacle was the outcome of the connecting highway. The funds were already allocated for the highway, even though the bridge it was connecting to was canceled. So despite the cancellation, the Alaskan government chose to build the road rather than to return the funds. $25 million later, a road that led to nowhere into the middle of the Alaskan wilderness had been constructed. It ended abruptly at a small circle with concrete barriers. At number 7, we have Connecticut Route 11, which is another one that's often referred to as a highway to nowhere. Originally planned in 1953 to connect Colchester to Waterford, running northeast to southwest, the highway's construction began in 1963 with an intended completion date of 1969. However, only about half the highway was actually built. The current Route 11 spans 7.1 miles, starting at Route 82 in Salem and ending at Route 2 in Colchester. The remaining 8 miles of land intended for the highway's completion to Waterford remains unused. Construction was halted in 1972 due to lack of funds, and since then the project has faced numerous starts and stops. Environmental concerns and funding issues have plagued the attempts to complete the highway. Despite millions of taxpayer dollars already spent, the road's future remains uncertain. As of 2024, there's no concrete plans to finish the project. Coming in at number 6, we have the Amstutz Expressway in Waukegan, Illinois. It's another notable example of a highway to nowhere that's faced significant challenges and delays throughout the years. Originally envisioned as a major thoroughfare to connect Waukegan's lakefront to surrounding areas, the expressway has remained partially stalled for decades. The project's status has been attributed to various factors, including funding challenges, changing urban development priorities, and environmental concerns. Despite its incomplete nature, the existing portion of the Amstutz Expressway continues to serve local traffic, albeit with a much lower usage than initially projected. In recent years, there's been discussions about the future of the expressway, with some proposals suggesting that it be converted into a surface-level boulevard to better integrate it with Waukegan's evolving urban landscape. At number 5, we have the Stack, located in Farmington, Connecticut. It's a unique and imposing 4-level interchange that really hasn't gotten much use since it was built in the 1960s. It was originally intended to connect Interstate 84 with the planned Interstate 291 Beltway. However, the I-291 project was canceled in the early 70s, leaving the Stack largely unused for over 2 decades. The interchange's towering ramps and multiple levels create a striking visual impact, described as reminiscent of ancient ruins rising from the forest. While parts of the Stack were eventually connected to Route 9 in 1992, many of its ramps remained unused, earning it nicknames like the Ghost Highway ramps and the Never Pass. Today, the Stack serves as a fascinating piece of Connecticut's transportation history. For number 4, we're headed to Branson, Missouri for the Ozark Mountain High Road. It's also known as State Route 465, as and is a partially completed bypass near Branson, Missouri that's faced significant challenges since its inception. Originally intended to alleviate congestion on State Route 76, which is Branson's main street, the project was expedited in the mid-1990s after being declared an economic emergency by the governor. However, only the northern portion of the bypass was completed, with the southern section abandoned due to various controversies. The project encountered unexpected difficulties, including underestimating right-of-way costs due to challenging terrain and issues with developers purchasing property before proper planning was conducted. As a result, the high road has failed to achieve its primary goals of relieving congestion on State 76. Currently, the Missouri Department of Transportation has no plans to complete Highway 465, leaving the project in limbo. We're getting down to the top three. So at number 3, we have the Goat Path in Lancaster, PA. It's a unique remnant of an abandoned highway project that started in the 1960s. It was intended to be an expansion of Route 23, but it was halted in 1977 due to a lack of funds. The 8-mile stretch of land was graded and then covered in dirt and grass, earning it the nickname as the Goat Path. This became particularly fitting when farmers began to use it to graze animals, including goats and cows. For decades, the Goat Path has sparked debate and curiosity amongst the locals. Recently, the first 1.2 miles of it was paved, connecting Route 30 to Greenfield Road. There's proposals for turning the rest into a recreational trail. For number 2, we're going to stay in Pennsylvania and go just about an hour west of the Goat Path to the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike. It's a 13-mile stretch of highway that was bypassed in 1968 due to severe traffic congestion. Originally part of America's first superhighway system, this section includes 2-mile-long tunnels. The abandoned turnpike has since become a popular destination for hikers and cyclists known as the Old PA Pike Trail or Top Trail. There's 2 main access points, one near Breezewood, Pennsylvania, and then another one near the Sidling Hill Rest Stop. It's a well-known spot for urban exploration and has been used for various purposes, including military training the county workers who paint lines on the road, filming location for the post-apocalyptic movie The Road, and many others. The property is currently managed by Friends of Pike to Bike, which plans to convert it into an official recreational trail. Finally, at number 1, we have the Baltimore Highway to Nowhere, which is a 1.4-mile stretch of US 40 that was built in the 1970s, which was originally intended to connect I-70 to I-95 and I-83. The project was halted, however, leaving divisive infrastructure that fragmented several West Baltimore neighborhoods. The highway's construction led to the displacement of 1,500 residents and the demolition of almost 1,000 homes and 62 businesses. Ever since, the area has struggled with high crime, unemployment, and abandoned dwellings. The highway's legacy is marked by the mistrust between residents and government officials. Although there's been some redevelopment plans, many residents are ambivalent about these redevelopment plans, fearing that any changes would further disrupt their neighborhood. Efforts are underway to redevelop the site. Just recently, there was a $2 million federal grant secured for a comprehensive study to explore alternative uses. The hope is that these redevelopment plans will be able to undo some of the wrongs that this project caused in the past, but it's not really clear exactly what they want to do. So that's it, 8 of the most interesting, most bizarre highways to nowhere in the United States. Now, one thing that I found out after looking into these is they're everywhere. It's not just something that happens in one place. It's not just something that happens in certain areas with certain politics or certain rural versus urban divide. They happen everywhere, and a lot of it just comes down to roads are incredibly complex projects. A lot of the things, the actual building of the road isn't all that hard most of the time, although there are times where it does become a challenge. But a lot of the time it's things out of people's control. It's who owns land rights, it's environmental things, it's things like that. So anyways, it's just an interesting thing to look at. If you have one in your neighborhood, let me know about it, because I'll probably make some more videos about these. Also, I got another video coming up of highways to nowhere outside the United States. So that just shows that it's not just an American thing, it's an everywhere thing. So thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, subscribe, and share and all that stuff. Thanks.